So in this module, we're talking about how to have desserts. Gotta love them.
Oh, absolutely.
Can't live without them. I want to tell you that it's been about 1.5 years since I have touched sugar, wheat, any sort of grain. And the reason I do that is, number one, many of you know I was 200 pounds. So just genetically and biochemically, there's a lot of obesity in my family. My hormones were completely messed up. And you know, my family, in order for me to combat that inflammation, the arthritis that runs in my family, I just had to really clean up my diet. But I wasn't willing to give up chocolate, sugar, you know, any of the things that I love. And so I eat desserts every single day, probably really with lunch and supper and as a snack. And so this module, we're really going to show you how you can have your cake and eat it too.
Right. You don't have to be deprived, and we don't want you to be deprived. I actually eat more muffins and cookies than I have in my entire life, but they're all grain-free, sugar-free, and taste great. So there's ways that you can do that are really simple that we're going to take you through today. And it's not that hard. It's kind of what we call a lateral move. Instead of eating this cookie, instead of using this flour, use this flour. Instead of using this sugar, use stevia or xylitol. And it's amazing how good these things come out. So why don't you talk about a few of the things we have and then the ingredients that are kind of common to these
how
things.
we do that. Well, I wanted to say too that I just want to add before we go into this, one of the reasons that so many programs fail is that you're short term, you do this and they don't arm you or teach you for life. And I want you guys to know that you're armed for life. You're taught for life. Now you're going to hold this up.
This is what you should be having in your kitchen all the time. And I see chocolate, and cookies and muffins.
We'll talk about those muffins in a minute.
All right.
So this is what we eat in our home. These are some of our primary staples. But my son made these. These are Oreo cookies, and they're grain-free, sugar-free alternative to Oreo cookies. And they do have dark chocolate in them with very little sugar, just a couple of grams. This is a chocolate almond bark that we have, very, very simple to make, literally a 5-minuter. These are almond flour chocolate chip cookies, my personal favorite. I actually had them for supper last night because I got home really late. And then these are supposed to be in complete transparent authenticity. My daughter made these. These are supposed to be blueberry muffins.
Oh, wow. I'm sure they taste better than they look.
Well, they taste great. But I said, where's the blueberries? She said, well, we were out of them, so I put raspberries in them. And then I said, so what happened to the middle? And she said, well, I ran out of coconut flour. And I said, fabulous. I'm shooting a video with those. Normally they look fantastic, but they do taste good. So the way that we do this is we just learn substitution. So we'll go through the key ingredients.
Let me talk chocolate first, then you talk once you all.
Can I eat it while you're talking?
Yeah, sure. So the chocolate bark, I'm a chocoholic. I love it. I always have loved it. Life would be not worth living if I didn't have chocolate. So I do this chocolate bark a lot. I almost always have this sitting around. So you basically, you take baker's chocolate, and you'll get the recipe for this. And I recommend, as soon as you're done watching this video, go make it. You take baker's chocolate, melt it with a little bit of butter or coconut oil, and then you just add stevia or xylitol until it's sweet enough for you, and you make a chocolate sauce. And then you can lay out almonds, you can put coconut, you can do flax seeds, and you lay it out on a cookie sheet, and then you just spread the chocolate sauce on there with the nuts, put it in the fridge. It forms hard, and then you just break it into pieces like this, and you have some of the darkest chocolate in the world, and it has no sugar, no calories, and it's fantastic for you.
It's fantastic for you, and it's very filling because it's very, very rich. Now, in my freezer right now, we actually have for Christmas, we made peppermint bark just the same way. I made it much thinner, but you just put a couple of drops of peppermint oil in it or peppermint extract.
That's really good.
And so it was a Christmas gift. I'm taking him to Christmas parties, but it's the same thing, and it's just simply a lateral move. You want to talk about the staple in our home called chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah, so you make the cookies and the muffins kind of the same, and it's all used with some almond flour. So we have over here. It's just a flour alternative. So instead of using regular white flour that comes from wheat, this is just ground up almonds, right? There's coconut flour, which is just coconuts that are ground up. There's garbanzo bean flour. There's a lot of different alternative flours. Almond meal is probably the easiest one to work with, right?
I would say the easiest as far as coconut, as far as just, ease of use and one-to-one ratios. Coconut flour takes a little bit more work to be able to do it, but almond flour is great. And you can see they taste like our chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, those are great.
The greatest part of this is we have kids. And I have teenagers. Yours are almost both teenagers.
Yes, coming up on it.
And so it has to pass the teenager taste test.
Yes.
So, and if...
Well, I have an 8-year-old. It has to pass that taste test too, and it does.
Yes,
so.
our kids live off of
And then
this.
the muffin's really the same way. So, I mean, we have the ingredients over there. You have the almond flour.
Yep.
This is the xylitol that we talked about, which is the sugar alternative. Okay.
Yep.
It's a sugar alcohol, which means it doesn't have any negative blood sugar effects whatsoever. And it's a 1-to-1 ratio when it comes to sugar, which is great. So if the recipe calls for 2 cups of flour and 1 cup of sugar, it would be 2 cups of almond flour and then 1 cup of the xylitol. So really, really easy to use.
Erythritol is another one that some people...
Swerve.
Yep.
Right.
Now this is called stevia in the raw. This is baking stevia that is 1-to-1 ratio. I actually use the concentrated, and it's an 8-to-1 ratio.
Okay.
So that then you don't have any of the additives, because this has maltodextrin in it. This is still a much better alternative. It's baking stevia.
Right.
The stevia extract, which you've got here, is incredibly sweet, and so you have to modify it to your own taste, really.
Right. And you just get used to it. So when you use something like stevia, and you might like xylitol more than you like stevia. Like I tend to like xylitol when I bake more than stevia. So really just depends on your taste. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a second. I know you want to talk about what do you do to keep it from sticking?
I do, because so many of you use canola oil or partially hydrogenated or the sprays. There's 2 kinds of sprays
like Pam, right?
oh my gosh,
yeah.
I actually, no joke, grew up with Pam and Spam.
Yes.
And I did eat Spam, so don't hate me. So this is extra virgin olive oil, and it's a spray, and so it works just like your regular cooking sprays. And then the other one, there's a coconut oil, organic coconut oil cooking spray. You don't need a lot, so it's a little pricier, but you really don't need a lot, and this is a much better alternative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions I get also are like, what do I do if I like sodas or teas? Like my dad used to drink a lot of like sweet tea. You know, I'm from the South, so I'm the same way. Like I drink a lot of water, but I get tired of water sometimes, just plain water. So one that's things that I use, which is really easy. This is called LaCroix. It's just water with natural flavor. So this is peach pear. They make coconut. They make lemon. They make mango. They make an orange flavor, which is almost like an orange crush. So it's just sparkling water. And if you could drink it like that, it's great, but it doesn't have any sweetness to it. So I just add a couple of drops of stevia as well. And then you have basically something that tastes just like a soda that has no artificial colorings, no artificial flavorings, and no sugar as well. So you don't have to go without sugar. As a matter of fact, we don't want you to. So as you get used to the set point plan, if you're hungry during the day, your snacks can be things like hard-boiled eggs, but that gets old kind of quickly. So your snack could also be an almond flour cookie, which would be fantastic. So as you wrap up this video, I'm going to have one of these.
I know you are. You're going to eat it. Really, the goal is we call it small changes, big impact. Small changes, big impact. You guys, it's not as hard as it seems, and it truly can become a lifestyle. Once you reach your goals, you can sustain it and maintain it. We're not interested in a short-term solution for you. We're interested in you guys really thriving and enjoying your life and mastering your metabolism.